Everything about this build is really quirky. I was going to do a 2-floor home and have a little daycare on the side in preparation for businesses and hobbies, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work or to have enough room for everything. Um, and plus, everything that I tried to get everything to line up, it just wouldn't work. It just would glitch. I don't know what's going on there, but it was just all messed up. And yes, I know that it looks kind of weird because that was the intention, was for it to look weird. And maybe for this person or the sim that's living here and has this little side business is, trying to work her way up in the world. So she's just starting out here. I was going to do a little gray house, but I was like, no, I want to do like a little blue house maybe, and then a green interior. So my intention here was trying to find a good door. Just trying to be welcoming for like little kids and for their parents to be like, oh yeah, this is like the perfect daycare. But in reality, it's really quirky and weird. I actually did a practice build of this, and I was going to have like a rooftop type of backyard. I'm just like, well, that's not safe. But so I decided against it and went with this. And so everything looks okay like right now, but then as I was trying to mess with the house side of things, the stairs and the door would not line up. It was just a mess, and I was getting frustrated. I was like, I didn't want a too wide staircase, but it is what it is. And I was getting frustrated because then the windows would be inside of the railing, and that doesn't look right. It was just all around weird. And yeah, I did have the move object sheet on, but it didn't work. Everything was frustrating. Everything was quirky. So I just kind of went with it. And I knew that I was kind of wanting some flowers out front. I didn't really plan on doing landscaping because I was actually already almost an hour and a half into recording this. So I was like, I don't have time for this. It's Sunday evening, and I'm actually late doing this because I was supposed to do this on Saturday and make a bunch of videos, but I just did not have the motivation to do so. So I'm here. And my intention here was, again, to make like a little quirky little daycare. But whenever I say daycare, I know it says Birdie's Tots and stuff, but as I was building it, I was kind of thinking of like an after school program, kind of like prime time. I went to prime time whenever I was a kid, and we did homework, we had these little fun games and stuff, and we'd have snacks. So that's what I was kind of going for, because I really didn't have enough room for like infants and toddler stuff, but I could do like child stuff. So and plus it's easier to entertain children than it is infants, and they're less stressful. So that's what I decided to do. And I couldn't decide how I wanted the bathroom, because again, I've been having this weird glitchy thing where it just, everything looks like it lines up and it's functional, but whenever I get into the gameplay, it's not functional. And I don't have any cheats on whenever I was doing that. So I don't know. It's quirky. I thought maybe it would change after the update, but it didn't. It did not. It's still the same. I don't know if it's just the copy. I don't know. There's a bunch of excuses I can come up with, but other than that, it was a pretty fun build to do. And I did this like little mini galley kitchen. Again, I think it's functional. I really hope so. I didn't upload this to the gallery because it looks really weird and looks really quirky, but I just decided to make a video about it because I needed something for Monday, and I was kind of running behind. And school is kind of going okay. We are getting ready to go to spring break, and so we have one more week for everything, and then we kind of have a rest week, which doesn't really mean anything for me. I'm still working. I just won't have school, but then I will be starting a new class it's a B block class. It's for like instructional technology, which looks really cool, but yet it looks kind of scary at the same time. It's a lot of tech talk, which I guess is fine. And like you can develop instructional material, which looking back, it's pretty much what I was wanting to do whenever I was going to college, and kind of what I was wanting to do in the workplace, like make instruction stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited, but I'm kind of nervous because if I do like this class, and depending on how I do, I'm also thinking of getting maybe a graduate certificate before I graduate completely and be done with it that way. But we shall see. I know that I have little test subjects, so I shouldn't say test subjects, but just to trial it. I mean, I have to. That's part of the criteria that I have to present it to a pupil of my choice. So it's kind of exciting. I feel like I am more excited about this than I am the other classes because it is more project based and a lot less reading. I mean, I like to read, don't get me wrong, but I'm over it already. And so this is just a little bit more hands-on, more doing, which I think is a good balance. Anyway, back to the build. So whenever I turned the move object sheet off here in a little bit, everything just kind of shifted and looked weird in the back. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that wasn't functional. Because, yeah, I didn't know. But everything seemed to work out okay. And I struggle with the bathrooms. I struggle with a lot of things. I know that I say that a lot, but I struggle with a lot of things. And bathrooms is one of them. Because it's like, oh, that looks like that will work. But in reality, it won't. It's like, I don't need a huge bathroom. So it's just like, that's just what it's going to be. So, I mean, ultimately, I think I just did it side by side. So, I think that it worked out. It doesn't need to be a big bathroom. It just needs to be a functional bathroom for the little ones to use the potty. Because that's a requirement, I would assume. I don't have early access to the pack. This is just in preparation for Businesses and Hobbies. So, it looks a little bit better. I added a fun little decoration on the back wall because that's just so much space. It's like I don't know what to do with it because there's nothing that really all that small. And here comes the the home side of it, because I was like, no, I'm not in the mood for any of that. So I just decided to make it a home that's a little, side by side. And again, I struggled with the floor plan because it was just like a tiny box and didn't have enough room for anything. But, looking back and me fixing it now, it's like, yeah, this person or this sim is just kind of starting out their business. They don't have a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of decorations. They spent most of their funds getting their daycare up and running for the most part. So they don't have a whole lot of anything that's, functional. I mean, they have their basic needs. They have the, minimal decorations. They have some skill building items. They can use the mirror for charisma, which I would assume that's a necessity for the new pack. Reading, cooking, all those things that they could do, and they could, teach stuff. So that I was trying to kind of do like a studio apartment, but not, I guess, because it's small enough that there, I don't know, it's cozy enough where, you don't necessarily have to spend all of your time there, but yet you do because you work next door. You're eventually working your way up. But we are actually almost near the end of this video. I didn't really do much of an outro because I was tired, and I was tired of building. And I was kind of kicking myself because I should have done this a little bit earlier, but I didn't because I was procrastinating. But that's all right. I did put 2 trees down. So that was a start. As you can see, there's a little toy that's kind of hanging off the edge there. Yeah, I'll fix it in a minute. And again, the roofing. Ugh. I really miss the auto roof sometimes. I was going to add some more terrain, but I did not. But other than that, it was a good creative exercise to make a little daycare and make a little home next door. But I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one.